This right here is going to make you super epic angry. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef, the nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the true crime story of the day that's pretty much caught my eye. And yes, an insane, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, police officer tasered a man, leaving him paralyzed, and now he is facing the courts. He's going to get prosecuted. But I tell you something, part of this story made my blood boil, like proper grinded my gears, proper made me angry. I'm going to break it all down for you but in a moment. But before I do so, a little bit of housekeeping. Firstly, hello, YouTube human reviewer. I see you lurking. I ain't going to be saying any trigger words or anything of that nature. And to everyone else awesome enough to click on this video, hey up, how do? Welcome! If you love true crime on the daily, served with a little bit of sass and gobbiness, which is basically this, right? Make sure the next thing you do is smash the hell out of that subscribe button. Like, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And let's jump into it, shall we? So, the man in question that was paralyzed by a tailor, his name is Jordan Walker Brown. And he was tasered in May 2020. And he is now paralyzed from like the chest down. Now, it is a Metropolitan police officer that has been charged with GBH, which is grievous bodily harm. Now, to anyone that doesn't know, the Metropolitan Police, that's basically police based in London in the UK, for anyone that don't know. Jordan Walker Brown, he was tasered with the electronic device in May 2020 in Haringey, North London, leaving him with serious life-changing injuries, including damage to his spinal cord. Do you know what? That just makes my, like the back of my hair, the hairs on the back of my neck when I can get my teeth back in, proper go on edge there, like, dude. Now the decision by the CPS, which is the Crown Prosecution Service, has now brought charges against the officer who's done it, who has not been named. And it's followed an investigation by the Independent Office for Police Conduct, the IOPC, last year. That inquiry that they did determined that there was an indication that the officer may have committed GBH. In other words, there's indication that this officer is, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, absolutely freaking insane with a taser, and yeah, basically did wrong. And so the CPS have looked at that inquiry and are like, yeah, we're going after this police officer now. Like, no doubt about it. Now, the constable in question, police officer, will appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on the 19th of April. So as of the date of this recording, which is the 7th of April, that is in 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days time. So just under 2 weeks there. Now, what happened was, Walker Brown, aged 25, he was stopped by officers from the Met's Territorial Support Group on 2 consecutive days, on the 3rd and 4th of May 2020. Both times he was carrying a small amount of green for his own personal. Now, over in the UK, rest of the world is different, but in the UK, the green, still illegal. Just to put it out there. My opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, shouldn't be. Now, when he was spotted again on the 4th of May, he basically said that he began to run when he saw 2 more officers get out of a van. So he spotted one of the Met officers, like, following him. And then as soon as 2 other officers kind of got out of the van and started following him, in my opinion, here, he's indicating that he felt threatened and started to run. Like, scared and just started to run. He was jumping over a wall, which was about 1.2 meters, 4 foot high on one side, but had a 1.8 meter drop on the other when he was struck by the taser. He then fell over the wall. So basically what's happened here is, if you think this is Walker Brown here, right? He's going, this is the wall, right? He's going and he's jumping over here, which here seems like, you know, very, very easy to jump onto. But on the other side, the ground isn't here. Oh no, the ground is lower. So as he's jumping over, he doesn't know what's on the other side, and it's actually, the ground's lower. So he's got further then to jump off, if that makes sense, right? But then that's when they hit him. And he fell over the wall, dropping further than the length that he climbed in the first place. In a statement, Walker Brown said, "I recognise also that the law allowed the police to chase me when I tried to run away from them, but what they were not entitled to do is to use a taser on me when they knew that I did not pose any threat to them whatsoever. I was running away from them." Now, we're going to get onto the legalities in a moment, because I found a solicitor's website, a UK solicitor's website, that outlines the law in terms of the police using tasers very, very clearly. And that's the bit that made me angry as hell. Now, Walker Brown also says, "I was running away from them precisely because of the threat they posed to me in my safety, a threat that, as a young black man, I could not afford to ignore. I know that I could have easily joined the long line of other black men who have died at the hands of the police." Commenting on the CPS's decision to bring charges, Walker Brown said, "This decision is a welcome first step towards justice for what was done to me by that police officer. I look now to the CPS to ensure that this matter is prosecuted to a just outcome." Now, hell freaking yes, all day long. The independent inquiry turns around and says, "Do you know what? That police officer who fired that thing, like, big, massive, like, we're thinking a big, massive no-no on that. It's indicating that, you know, it was used not in the correct way. Let's put it that way. That's what I'm gleaning from this inquiry, right?" Then, yeah, CPS rocks in and be like, "You know what? If the inquiry's turning around and saying, do you know what? That police was a bit sus there and a bit dodgy in terms of how he used that device. Yeah, we're going to go after him. Or her." Hell yes. Finally. The police are getting, like, be made accountable for what they do wrong, which is a brilliant, 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 I can't even say how many times brilliant, brilliant, brilliant development in terms of now how the police are being held accountable, especially the Met. The Met over the years have got away with some shady, shady, shady amount of shiz, guys. So now they're being held accountable. Booyah, snaps for that. And hopefully the CPS can follow through, hopefully, fingers crossed, to a conviction. Now, this is where I get particularly angry at this whole situation. Are you ready? You really, really ready? Let's go. So, this is a website, irwinmitchell.com. They're a UK-based solicitor. Now, they explain on their website that since 2003, the police have been allowed to carry these tasers. Now, it's essential that the police only use them when absolutely necessary and that they follow the correct procedure when they do. Now, what is it? Now, they're only allowed to use them when they're faced with a serious threat of violence and they consider that the use of it is reasonable and proportionate to the situation that they face. But we place a great deal of trust in them to know what constitutes a serious threat and how much force is reasonable. Being arrested or restrained can be a terrifying experience. When something like this is used, it can make it even more frightening, especially if it's used inappropriately or unnecessarily, because many people have been injured by these things during peaceful protests, when being arrested, and when they've already been put in handcuffs. Now, essentially, they're saying, you know, the specialist lawyers could help claim compensation, suing, that kind of thing, and get the answers. But the physical and psychological effects of them using this kind of weapon can be serious, including heart attack, especially when there's a pre-existing heart condition. And to be fair, when police are using these things on people, they don't know their health history. They don't know if they're using that, if they've got a pre-existing heart condition or not. Like, quite literally, like, you know, these things are supposed to be used, let's say, to incapacitate someone when the police are faced with a serious threat. Okay. But then the added extra layer on top of that is, what if the person that is producing that threat has a pre-existing heart condition and you use that thing on them? Do you see where I'm coming from? This is dodgy as hell. Dodgy as hell. Breathing problems, again, kind of same dilemma there that I've just outlined in terms of like pre-existing heart conditions, emotional trauma, and now, as we know, freaking paralysation, being paralysed. This is no freaking joke. Now, this is where I get freaking angry, right? The dude was running away from the police, right? Running away. Did he produce any threat towards those officers in the first place? How could he? He's freaking running away. He's got his back turned against them and freaking going in the opposite direction to where they're at. How is he posing a serious freaking threat? The solicitors, the law that they're quoting here is extremely explicit. They can only use these things when they're faced with a serious threat of violence, and that they consider that the use of it is reasonable and proportionate to the threat they face. Dude wasn't producing any threat. The dude was freaking running away from the police officers, not towards them, away. What kind of freaking threat is that where they need to then think, do you know what? I'm going to use a taser on him. What the freaking deuce? I don't get it. And then, right, the independent inquiry that then happened, right? If I just try and find it here, where was it? Here we go. Independent Office for Police Conduct, right? I don't think went far enough, because they say it determined there was an indication the officer may have committed it, the GBH. Hang on, indication? Dudes, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, that inquiry didn't go far enough in terms of its ruling. To me, there's no freaking indication. To me, it's a police officer chasing after the dude. There was no threat posed whatsoever because the dude is freaking running away from the police, not freaking towards them, right? And the police dude, do you know what, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, thought, do you know what? I'm going to think of an easy way to get him, and yeah, I'm just going to incapacitate him by using this taser and stop him in his tracks right there. In my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, that is what I think happened. Regardless of the dude's safety. Regardless of any thought of what that might do to him. When he posed no freaking threat whatsoever, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Because again, and I'll say until I'm blue in the freaking face, he's running away from the police, not running towards. What kind of freaking threat is that posing in the first place to him? I don't freaking get it. To me, there was absolutely no justification for that device to be used on him in the first place. None. Zero. Zilch. Done. None. And so to me, that inquiry don't go far enough in terms of its ruling. Indication, my absolute backside. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. But regardless, CPS, as far as I'm concerned, has made the right decision and is now prosecuting the officer involved that did it in the first place and going after him. Yes, hold the Mets accountable. Absolutely. There's way too many times now that these police officers, in the Met in particular, because we're hearing it a lot about the Met, so a lot of times these police officers are doing some shady things and getting away with it. So now the tide is turning, it seems like, And that shiz ain't gonna fly anymore. Woo! I hope that, you know, in terms of Jordan Walker Brown, that, you know, the dude, he finds some sort of peace for the remainder of his life, and that hopefully he gets, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, you know, the justice that he deserves. I really, really do think that he deserves justice and that he should get it. So I really do think that he gets the justice that he deserves for that police officer that's literally changed his life. Literally, like, and it's just needless. Needless. Why? This shouldn't have happened in the first place. Shouldn't have happened in the first place. The law is quite explicit. You only use it in the threat of freaking danger. That is it. There was no threat of danger. None. None. Dude was running away from you. What the hell? With that being said, what do you guys think to this? Sound off with your gobs in the comments down below. And if you love true crime on the daily, just like this video, and you want to see more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe. Like, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until the next time, you guys, laters.